Hello, ready guys, welcome back to another session of backtesting where I'm going to be backtesting another half month's worth of data. This is episode number 17 of our backtesting sessions where I am going from 2022 all the way up until 2026 in one single stretch. If you guys are interested in checking out the rest of these videos, this entire process is going to be recorded and posted on my YouTube. And if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate everybody's support. And use code replay15 for 15% off of your FX replay monthly, whatever, fuck. All right, well, this is where we're at. The last month I did was September, came out with 16R. That's over the course of these trades here. Very good performance on that last month. See if we can go and continue that order flow or continue that momentum. Things that I'm working on right now is recognizing those overnight expansions. That's something that I noticed from my last sessions that really made a difference. Is overnight expansions equals no trades, previous days expansions equals no trades. And my main focus right now, just after studying my last videos that I did go and put out, is I want to know when there's going to be consolidation days and when the bad price action is bound to happen. I'm getting a lot better at the leading, lagging, and the manipulations and recognizing. I'm getting a lot better at flipping my bias and stuff when I'm recognizing those things happening. But it's like where my weakness is recognizing when those consolidation days are gonna happen, and also just like my bias needs to get strengthened up a little bit more. But that's gonna come with time, right? Other than that, let's go and drop straight into it. So. Charts, where are we? So this is Monday. We are trading October now. So first of the month. Yeah, first of the month. All right, whatever. Cool. So dropping in here on the weekly time frame, as always, what do I want to see is we have been in a very bearish order flow. We are impacting right now. There's SMT break going on. So there is SMT break. NQ is tapping us into a very relative level. All assets has broke this SMT. There's nothing below it. I'm looking at more trading external, internal now. Just reasonings because there's no more reason for us to go lower. All the reasons for us to go higher. Order flow is extremely bearish, so something that I do want to take notice of. However, with this being said, we can take notice that just the daily candle is having a nice open, low, high, close profile. Drawing liquidity, I would say, would be that previous day's high, as YM is a lot higher here. So there is reasonings for us to be bullish. Massive expansions pushing us back low, higher. This is a Monday, so with this being Monday as well, if I'm anticipating another bearish week just with the order flow, I can actually anticipate for this to be an open high. So there is reasonings for us to go higher. Taking a look at daily profile right now, we can take notice that Asia is the low day, so there is reasonings for Asia to be considered your low, which is also SMT break logic, as the SMT has been broken. And then we do have us having a PSP at the lows, so there is cracking correlation at the lower day. We are just overall expanding up higher. There is a sweeping here, and the 6 a.m. candle is, so that's SMT, and the 6 a.m. candle is really expanding away from this sweep that's located there. So there's a lot of shit telling us to be bullish here. Where bullish to? I would assume to just fill up this. And as you can tell, right, the first tap into this gap did get hit and it didn't reverse price, and then now we are expanding higher. So there's like a failure to manipulate, and the gap is obviously getting ran through here on YM. So with the gap getting ran through, there's reasonings for us to go up to this low resistance liquidity that is located to the left of us. With that being said, I do want to go and say that price has a pretty decent V-shaped reversal. So the reversal, if we was trading a reversal day, we could take notice that Asia very early in the day is doing the reversal here. We do have an expansion met with expansion, hit with an accumulation, and then the manipulation that's located here. With this manipulation, we are failing to manipulate this high and going straight through it, meaning that this is your gaps created away from a manipulation. Should be gaps that we would like to see hold price up to the upside. So with this being said, I would like to see all of these gaps hold price up to the upside. Being that expansion has occurred prior to the driver, I would like to see price make its way down into these gaps first and then get held up in order for us to go upwards. I do take notice that this is your pretty relevant high. That's just internal range. I do want to recognize that this is a very expansive leg, and we could get reactions off of holy shit. Discount pretty much right here, right? In that discount of this price leg, we could get reactions. So let's see if these gaps hold, because if these gaps hold price up to the upside, then we can be bullish. So here we got the gap getting filled. We do have SMT fill that is getting put into play here. And then now we would want to see if this is going to go and reverse us back up to the upside. So we are getting a nice SMT fill reaction here. And then now we can take notice that we do have a CISD back up to the upside as all the assets is pressing up higher. And this is your 930 actually reversing price here. With 930 reversing price, we do have a no 15-minute swing, but we are trading within a 30-minute C2. We have more than half of the candle left, and this is also around the driver. So honestly, I would trade this. 100%. This is your 930 manipulation, and then this is your press upwards with the SMT fill. All assets is also pushing us upwards, and that SMT fill and the push upwards is telling me that it's telling me that the gaps is holding, and at minimal we can go and utilize this high here as your break even point. So let's go and take this on YM, as the SMT direction is showing me that this is a stronger asset. The closure through the CISD as well is a lot more stronger than NQ is, as NQ is like right above, ES is right above as well, and the SM it's really just the SMT direction. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, right? So let's try this one. And then we'll go stops to break even at the highest point of the day. And then this would be your stops to break even. And then there's your 2R. And that's basically fucking that, right? Yeah, and then you would just wait. And then that would be your TP to that first level draw. So you see how like there's that V-shape reversal, accumulation, manipulation, expansion, retracement, SMT, driver hitting that gap, and then the driver going and respecting, and then we get the push out of it. I mean, if you wanted to try another one, and then you're just trading that 30-minute C2, which didn't even close as a C2. Damn. That fucker was not a C2. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta use the restroom. Alright, cool. We're back. Alright. Well, that was basically that. Just the SMT fill. I just don't like the way I will say I don't like the way that the 30 didn't really close as a C2. But I did want to trade it. Why? Because we did have majority of the candle left. We still have more than half of the candle left, as this is your 15-minute closure. Not trading a 15-minute C2 away from it, but it's more so just trading that 30-minute C2 away from it. But yeah, that's basically fucking that, I guess. Already put in. Not something that I like, though. After that closure like that, I probably wouldn't like it. But the 10 a.m. did go and expand, and this is also showing or what is that called? Reversal happening prior to the driver. The driver should do what? Expand, right? And then you just trade that news candle upwards. Yeah, I don't know what else is to be talked about there. Cool. So taking a look here on the weekly time frame, again, we are extremely bullish here. Not bullish, bearish. Well, we do tap us into this internal range liquidity. So now with the internal range getting impacted, I'm more so leaning at being bearish here now. I do want to take notice that we have that weekly SMT that is put into play. Price has expanded though. Yeah, so price is expanding right now. Previous day expanded with a nice C2. Daily profile is telling me that not really a low day. I mean, there is SMT in between the 7-hour lows. I don't really look at like the 7-hour like that, but I just look at it for profile wise. So we do take notice that the low a day does not have anything set with anything of true significancy. So this is where I would actually look at the asset setting these manipulations where there is the SMT getting put into play here on YM, as YM really isn't reversing price off of this SMT here. And we can take notice that NQ is also very high in the range, and we are heavy trending up to this as well. I'm under the assumption right now that NQ is actually going to go straight there to set the high of day to break that SMT. 6 a.m. candle hits the accumulation, the manipulation of this low with a 1-hour C2. So there is a possibility for NQ to switch strengths and then go upwards to go and break the SMT that is already put into play here. We do take notice of a, is it a PSP? So we do have a 30-minute strength switch PSP already getting put into play, as YM is turning into the weaker asset, as it does have this PSP getting put into play. One thing I can take notice of, however, is I really don't like this expansion leg, being that we are extremely high in the range right now. So it really just depends on what market open does. I would more so want to see like a deeper retracement down lower prior to market going up higher, just because expansion has occurred already, and I would need a better point of interest in order to get on side with this. Well, it honestly looks like we're just gonna go straight upwards. Fuck. Well, looks like we're going straight upwards. We do impact a very relevant level, something that I do want to be aware of if getting on side with anything. So it does look like we are gonna go just straight up higher, and we are failing to manipulate. Looking to see if I can get a better entry than this, because that's a kind of chopped entry. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really trust that low. Or just go straight there. Why don't you? Fuck. Well, now we have SMT break logic. I would more so want to trade down lower now, and let's see if we can get a reaction off of this high. And reasonings why as well is because what can happen after this massive expansion leg? If we're going to expand from early in the day on the previous day and then into fucking overnight session, this is literally what I'm working on, is overnight expansions and previous day expansions equals what? Consolidations on the current day. We just talked about this. Consolidations on the current day. So now we do impact relevant levels. YM is really failing to manipulate and showing us indications that it wants to go to the next draw on liquidity. I just don't know if I want to long here after this massive expansion with no different phase in price. So I would more so want to trade down into the range here and see if we can get a 15-minute model back downwards. No model yet. Okay, sweeping of this high here. This would be your SMT high like this. Now we'd want to see NQ go and reverse price in order for us to trade down lower. Honestly, I think the market is way too fucking bullish to be trying to short or to be trying to long anything. I'd more so would rather long and take this as an accumulation. Here's your manipulation. This is your 15-minute model right there, and you could trade that 15-minute C3, as we do have the V-shaped reversal. Only problem with this is just it's super high in the range, and not just what has been done. And you'd have to be at break even as soon as you cross these highs. Here's your break even point. As soon as you cross that, stopped out of break even. And this is just an accumulation. Why? Because expansion has already occurred. I'm not trying to short in the super bull market. I'm also not trying to long in this high in the range either. So I would walk away, as overnight expansion and previous day expansion can result in a different phase in price. So that's where my line of my rules is going to be drawn to save me from taking unnecessary losses, right? And just waiting for these reversals to happen will show me that we can go down lower. Let's see if, yeah, so here's your external to internal type logic that I was looking for. It just didn't happen during the current day. It starts to expand now. What I would be aiming for now is to go and retrace. This is a very ultimate expansion though, back up to the upside. I'm not going to front about that. Yeah, very expansive candles. I'm looking to trade back internally, right? We do have an 1800 high a day that is not really formed with anything of true significancy, I would say. There is reasonings for us to go internal external right now. I would more so, we just don't have a wick on the daily candle. I'd more so want to trade up higher, being that we do impact these relative levels. And honestly, it just makes more sense to trade up higher and not fight this massive price leg, because what has happened after hitting a relevant level, the phase in price given is a retracement. We do have some equal highs that is located here on YM. So now if I wanted to be bullish, we'd want to trade internal external. There is SMT fill that's located like this, as NQ is doing the deeper retracement. There's a low resistance. There's reasonings for us to go higher, right? So I would want to see 930 reverse price up to the upside in order for us to want to be bullish here. So here's your pressing upwards, as 930 is reversing price right now. Okay, so NQ really isn't reversing off of this low. There is a possibility for us to be bearish still, as it's just studying which asset is going to be considered making this manipulation. There's an SMT at that low, but NQ is not reversing price. So with this push here, now we can see NQ does make a run down lower again. We need to see, and we need to see NQ reverse price, because if not, this SMT that is pushing downwards is considered false, and we might be able to break it with this. Okay, so with NQ really failing to manipulate here, I could trade YM as this lagging asset. It's just the phases and price really doesn't support it, and I do not have a protected level that I can trade away from here on YM. So right now I would just let it run. Okay, so here's your pressing downwards, looking like this SMT that is put into play at the lower day is a false SMT, and we are actually going to go lower. So now if I wanted to trade, I can trade YM as that lagging asset where we do have this manipulation, and YM is considered the manipulation now. With this YM being considered the manipulation, I would like to try to align myself with an entry, but I need to see some form of protected level in order for me to get on side with this, because I don't trust any of these highs here on YM as anything that I can put my stop loss at. So I would like to see a run up higher first to manipulate out some of these highs in order for us to press down lower. So here would be your pressing up higher. If we can get this fair value gap fill, that'll be an SMT fill in order for me to go and push downwards. Here's your strength switch right now in between 15-minute swings like that. That gives me an SMT fill on these assets, and now we can see price start to flush if it wanted to flush here. Taking too long. I'm not going to participate in this. It's taking way too fucking long here. So this would be your run back up higher. Now, just with this run up higher, I'm waiting to see if I can get this 15-minute gap getting tapped into. With this 15-minute gap getting tapped into, this gives me a 30-minute C2. Looking to see if I get a V-shaped reversal off of here. This would be your entry, just like this, as your 12 o'clock candle. And that would be like an OB to break the SMT that NQ has put in. And then you would get run out. So just very tough day in general. just not really delivering in any way that we would want to see it do, right? Can't really get on side with anything long here, and you can't really get on anything short here, so there really wouldn't be any trades in general, and that's fine and that's okay. You know what I mean? I'd rather preserve some capital than try to force something in a market that's not really agreeing with you. The reversal happened around 11:30. And that's when, like, all the way down here, I seen this more as a failure to manipulate lower prices down to the next levels of draws, and it just didn't do that, right? So with that's okay. All right, we do see all of these stacked highs that is located there. Yes, there's SMT in between it, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we are manipulating out this low with a nice V-shaped reversal off of it as well. With this all being said, the order flow of the current market is extremely bullish. Yeah, it is very bullish on the previous days. We do have this accumulation, manipulation here, and distribution, accumulation, manipulation, looking for another distribution up higher. What the fuck is happening here? Hold on, I gotta refresh the page. I'm ready to receive my loving. Are you ready to receive affection? So long. So it kind of does look like we do have a pretty decent open high profile where the high a day is getting set like this, and we do expand away from it. With that expansion away, the current 4-hour candle does expand us back down to these lows. So going from that external range back down to internal, disrespect here, we can see I wouldn't doubt if we do see some bearish order flow, because the 6 a.m. profile does go and tell us that we want to go down to these lows as well. The high of this candle right now is formed with a 30-minute C3 formation where we can go down lower. Daily kind of opens up high, but we are expanding away from this high day here, going down to the next draws on liquidity. Why? Because expansion met with expansion, met with the retracement, forming all of this low resistance, and now we are respecting like this 30-minute OB and shit. We're forming that high with at CISD and the push downwards. So everything is kind of low-key going down to the downside here. We are making its way back up higher right now, so let's see. So I may be wrong on my bias to be bearish here. Just studying what the market is doing currently, we are manipulating out this high, leaving an SMT here now. So if this high gets respected, so we're going to blast straight through it. My bias of being bullish is or bearish is wrong. My draw on liquidity is obviously going to be considered this high that's located here. Market is going to go and run up to it already on NQ. NQ is obviously going to be considered that stronger asset. We do have a 15-minute OB that is getting formed here. I just really can't get on side with anything now because I don't really have a stop location of where I would want to see price go to, right? I mean, you could go and say that this is your 930 really reversing price right now, and you could, I guess I could enter positionally on that 15-minute OB like this, as long as I would be able to get. I don't like to trade on the retracements. That's just not how I like to do things. I like to trade on the continuations. So I would just wait to see from the 10 a.m. opening price if we can get a 10 a.m. open low high close here. Yeah, see, like that's kind of a big reason why I don't like to trade on the retracement. So obviously showing me right now we may be bearish. I just don't like these highs that stacked up on NQ. But now we can take notice that the true direction is really showing its hand. We are impacting this levels low, so this is where I can anticipate for that different phase in price to happen. We are having the CISD. I just don't really have I really don't have a stop location, so I'm gonna wait for that failure to manipulate structure. Oof, fuck, I really can't trade away from these highs either, so more so just would wait for that manipulation there. Give me a 15-minute swing, miss the driver, 15-minute continuation. Now going and trading away from this 15-minute swing down to the downside if we can get a V-shaped reversal off of it. So no V-shaped reversal off of it. One more push higher, and I'd like to trade a 15-minute swing. Just wait for a new 15-minute swing to happen. Here's your 15-minute C2. It already takes place. That 15-minute C2 is setting the high of the 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. candle now. And now we can trade this back down lower, which we do have this V-shaped reversal as it does get put in alongside with a continuation OB, as the continuation OB is this 11 a.m. candle. I'm not going to use this continuation OB. I would much rather utilize the full swing formation, as I do still have 2R to my full draw on liquidity there. So I would more so want to keep my stops at that very valid place. Accumulation, manipulation, expansion into a relative level, with this relative level getting impact, accumulation, manipulation, and looking for that next stage of distribution. And then now I can enter here as that 15-minute swing, get tapped in, and then get stopped out. Does it ever go? So my draw on liquidity was correct. My timing of the market was incorrect. We did have that 15-minute C2 that did get put into play, and it was a very aggressive C2 as well. What time of the day did it actually start delivering? Around that 12 o'clock period. But draw on liquidity, correct. Delivery of it, ass. I thought we were good just because we did have that continuation OB as well. Not entirely the best though, but draw on liquidity was obviously correct. Very easy draw. The entry in itself just got chopped up. We had CISDs across multiple channels as well. So, I mean, would I take this again? Yeah, I think so, dog, honestly. So, yeah, not a fucking bad deal. I'll take that again. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that loss. Just got chopped up. Whatever. That's fine. So again, just now we can obviously show, it's obviously showing us now that we are bearish. We are impacting this relevant level. With this relevant level getting impacted, you can see a different phase in price occur, as this is an SMT break, as YM has put in this SMT a very long time ago, and then now we have that SMT break. We are extremely bearish right now, and there is a bunch of reasons to go up higher, going from external to internal, just being that this is an accumulation. I really don't think that I want to trade down lower. I'd more so want to trade back into the range, being that this is a Friday and the weekly candle is kind of just wanting to close where it is now. I don't see us setting new lows of weeks. I might even not trade at all in the day. We are just taking notice that the higher day is not really forming anything. I mean, I guess you could say we are like hitting this and then expanding lower, but realistically speaking, the next draw on liquidity is there, and we are just overall not really doing anything special, so to say. The 6 a.m. candle definitely does not support bullish momentum. We are just expanding, and I really can't trade anything just more. I can't trade more expansion after the expansion has already occurred. This is more so of a, I would assume, well, I mean, the first 3 minutes went and took everything. I would assume that we'd want to trade higher, being that there is a data type candle. 930 is not really reversing price, though. Here's your 15-minute C2 pushing you up to the upside, and we do have that accumulation highs that I would like to reverse too. 930 was very heavy to the downside, though. I really don't think that I would want to long here unless it's showing true displacement higher, which it's not. So with that being said, I would walk away just because I'm not trying to fight the overall higher time frame push. I'm also not trying to short at the lowest point of the day below old lows on a Friday when the job is already done. So with that being said, I would walk away from the day completely, as there really isn't anything here for me. See how we just end up in a consolidation, and then I really don't want to short at the lowest point of the day after expansion has already occurred. Not really my style. And away from there wouldn't be any trades on this day in particular, being that it's a Friday as well. Trying to set new lows of weeks and shit, fuck no, you know what I mean? Previous day truly does expand pretty aggressively outside of this range. I can see a push back up into the range, but I want more so trying to frame continuation signatures, down to the downside, just down to this low that's located here. Reasoning why we went up was to manipulate, and now we are continuing the overall higher time frame order flow being bearish. So now with this being said, what is within this candle is going to be 4-hour gaps that we can use in order for us to start wanting to frame down to the downside. So there's your 4-hour internal, which all assets do impact already. Daily profile in itself is showing that 1800 is a low a day, which is not really doing anything really significancy. So I'm looking to go and trade this down lower, as the 6 a.m. does have this, all of these lows that's stacked up against each other. Very nice for us to go and continue the order flow down to the downside. So here's your accumulation, your manipulation up higher. Now wanting to see 930 go and reverse price, as we do have this 30-minute C2. We do have that push downwards already. I'm looking more so for a, honestly, just fucking jump in right here. 3-minute CISD, and then the continuation entry. Everything I need, I'm a fiend for the green sticky leaves. You have all assets showing bearish momentum. Bearish momentum. Yeah, we're good. Going from range high back down to range low. And then there would be TP. Oh, this motherfucker didn't even tap me in. Oh my god, bro. Fuck. What the fuck, dude? Unbelievable. Well, that fucker didn't actually work. See if we can get it on side with the lagging asset logic now. That's so fucking annoying. Looking to see if this 15-minute gap is going to hold price down to the downside, and we could trade YM downwards as well. Here's your 15-minute C2 into that expansion. As you can tell, strength is flipping into YM to go and break the same SMT that was located on NQ. I'm going to limit fill it. See if we can get it. Fuck. Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna use a bathroom. So fucking annoying. Bro, this is so fucking annoying, dog. What the fuck, bro? This is fucking stupid. This is why I hate limit fills. I ain't going front to you guys, but nonetheless, that's what fucking happens, huh? Oh, fuck. Well, moving on from there. That's so stupid, dog. Yo, that is fucking crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Fuck me, man. This is fucking annoying, dude. I don't even want to do this shit anymore. Alright, whatever. It's fucking replaying. We're just backtesting. It doesn't matter. Looking like an external, internal type play. Daily open low profile. Looking like I want to trade down lower here. As this is, I mean, yeah, it's a model, but overall higher time frame order flow is extremely bearish. Not really trying to go and trade down or trade up higher. We are having a 30-minute model back down to the downside. Accumulation, manipulation, looking like a distribution. Back downwards, looking to trade YM as that lagging asset to catch up with where NQ is. NQ is obviously pressing down extremely bearish right now. So with NQ pressing down extremely bearish, we might see NQ tap into that level already. So there's your manipulation here on NQ. Now my job is just to see if I can match a price movement and a strength switch into YM to go down lower as well. Looking to see if I can get like a 10 a.m. open high low close here on YM. YM's phases and prices not really supporting it being a push, right? It's still accumulating. So here would be your manipulation off of that 10 a.m. high. And now if we can get a V-shaped reversal here on YM, then that would support us being bearish here. So right now, YM is really not supporting us being that bearish. I'd more so want to trade down lower. We can see that NQ is actually reversing price right now. With NQ reversing price, we can possibly see YM push up higher as there is this 15-minute C2 and the V-shaped reversal and then the continuation through these highs. If we get a YM failure to manipulate here, this you could trade as a wait, but it's 3 minutes until 11 a.m. I'd much more rather wait till 11 a.m. to open and we get that 15-minute push manipulation here. And now this shows us that 11 a.m.'s closure through is telling me that YM can go up higher to those next draws on liquidity that is going to be considered up higher. So this is flipping my bias to being bullish here. And then that's realistically all you can really long it up to is that high. And then you would just test to see if we'd punch through it, which we do punch through it. And I'll be stopped out at break even. I just can't go and trade. I can't hold my stops open there. And we do end up getting that 2R. I would have just got stopped out of break even here. And reasonings why I flip my bias is because the asset setting this manipulation was reversing price and this asset was holding bullish, meaning that with the setting of this manipulation and NQ or YM holding, we can see that the range actually wanted to go up higher in alignment with that daily profile of open, low, high, close. And that means that NQ is the one that is setting the manipulation lower. So good flip in the bias, just not a very, I just wasn't bullish at first, so I couldn't tell you that this was going to be considered my low a day, right? Or that low of that 10 a.m. candle where we did start to expand higher. I was still trying to frame shorts off of this high and we do expand up higher. Once we had this failure to manipulate signatures where the 11 a.m. does get manipulated and we do have that closure through, that's when my bias obviously becomes bullish. However, I'm unable to hold it past this high without going stops or break even because the stops or break even is too relevant in a way. Right, it's too relevant for you to leave your stops to open because then your risk would be literally fucking, you know what I mean? Your that low is at risk the moment that high gets impacted. And yeah, that's just basically what that trade was. If I wanted to trade down lower now, just off a driver, there's really no entries here. It really is just a straight flush, and I wouldn't have been able to jump on side with anything there. So that's fine. Not entirely the best, but nonetheless. So taking a look here, weekly time frame, we do have the push upwards. Oh, it's not even the weekly. We are extremely bearish still looking for a bearish week. Just those little retracement legs, that doesn't really phase me too much. We have an internal external type model, as I would like to go down to here. Daily profile in itself is supporting us to have a nice open high profile where London could be considered your high a day. I do take notice of all of this low resistance liquidity that is located below, kind of just like an accumulation range right now, but we are expanding away from this. So the 6 a.m. candle is very bearish. Do you have that open high profile? I really don't like all of these highs. that is stacked up against each other though, because with those highs being stacked up against each other, the whole profile of the day is just looking very accumulating, and realistically speaking, it's just kind of ass, right? The whole structure of this market here is just a barcode. So with that being said, I may not be trading unless we manipulate out some external highs, which I would be able to trade down lower with. But it's just like I can't trade away from all of this up top, and it's just the internal to internal is just kind of ass here. Not going to front there, and it's just going to end up a consolidation day in general, as the whole higher time frame is consolidating. With that being said, you can't really trade anything here, as it just is with, like I said, right, within a consolidation range, a very small day, all range day, where we are just literally going to close just like that, honestly. So that would be basically that that day's read, as we do accumulate in that entire day, right? As what happens in the next day is we manipulate the accumulation highs, and then we end up distributing back down to the downside. So what we was waiting for was literally that, the manipulation of these accumulation highs and then the expansion lower. So right now we can see the expansion lower is taking place. I just don't trade at the lowest price points of these expansion legs, as this is an 830 expansion lower. I would like to see a run up higher first, and then get a 15-minute swing back down to the downside, because then I could trade this back downwards in order for us to go and meet those objectives that is located below us. We got the accumulation during the market open, and we are pressing us up higher. I am taking notice of, I'm going to wait for the 15-minute swings formation to close. So that would be your 15-minute closure there. From that 15-minute closure, we do have the V-shape reversal. NQ is a lot weaker, as it is displacing a lot lower. We do have the V-shape here, and in the accumulation manipulation, looking for the distribution back down to the downside. Yes, this is a data's candle. However, we had that manipulation already take place and the expansion away from it. So I'm not looking at it as an 830 manipulation. I'm looking at it as an 830 push down to where YM does have those equal lows that is located below us now. So let's go ahead and place this order, and let's see the expansion from here. Not good. Not the best reaction. Looks like my bias is wrong here. So let's see if I can actually frame something long. My bias is definitely wrong. Well, my bias was wrong. Not even a 15-minute swing. Nothing. No gaps that has been tapped. Just fucking wrong bias. Well. Fuck. Yo, I'm getting clapped right now, bro. Not even gonna lie there. Holy shit. Full reversal. Full reversal away from equal lows here. That's a fucking joke if I ever seen one. Obviously I want to go up higher now. It says trading from internal external now, and we would anticipate us to go up to those highs there. We are pressing away from a low a day that is already formed, expanding away from it. We open up these 30-minute gaps that we would like to see hold price up to the upside. Market opens into these gaps, and now we'd like to see this 30-minute gap hold price up to the upside. Confirmation of it would be a V-shaped CISD looking like this. With this V-shaped CISD is showing me that that gap is holding. YM being the stronger asset, we can trade up higher, as it is going to get to that high a lot quicker and a lot sooner. Tapped in, and then straight to stop loss again. Looking like a full fucking reversal again. Holy fuck, man. What the fuck is going on right now? What the fuck, dude? I'm over it. Fuck this, dude. Why are we doing full reversals and shit like that? I have not a single clue, bro. Away from equal highs again, bro. Again. So, full reversal away from equal lows, and then full reversal away from equal highs. This is insane, bro. You know what I mean? What the fuck? Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. After not filling me as well and not allowing myself to fucking get that entry. You guys are fucking clowns, dude. Fuck this. Stupid ass fucking shit. Twice didn't fill me. Well, red on the month so far. -1 R. Pure fucking losses. Obviously supposed to not be red and at least be up 1 R, but yeah, what a fucking joke, dude. Alright, I'm out of here. Peace.